Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the third question of day 7 using Java. So the question is unique digits count. Here we have to write a function that will find the count of unique digits in a given number n, and here given that the number will be passed to the function as an input parameter of integer type, and the assumption for this question has given the input number will be a positive integer number which is greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 25,000. And here some of the examples as given. The first example is if the given number is 292, then the function should return 2, because here we can see that there are two unique digits, that is 2 and 9 in this number. And the another example is if the given number is 1015, then the function should return 3, because here we can see that there are 3 unique digits, that is 1, 0 and 5. So, we will write the program for this question on Visual Studio Code. So, before I start, please subscribe our channel to get all the questions and solutions of Wipro training. So, now let us open Visual Studio Code and press Ctrl N for new tab. At first, we will write the program, after that we will see how it works. So, initially we have to import some Java packages, so that we have to write import java.io.star, and the another package is import java.util.star, and now we have to define the class name. So, let us give the class name as user main code 3, because this is our third question of day 7. And now by pressing Ctrl S we will save the program, and here our program name should be same as the class name. So, here we have to write same as user main code 3 with a extension .java, and now we will select all files and let us save. And now we will define the function, so that we have to write public static int. Let us give the function name as unique digits count, and we will take one formal argument as an input, that is input 1. After that we will declare some variables. So, let us take rem for reminder, and we will initialize it to 0, and we will take another variable as count, and we will also initialize it to 0. Count is for counting the unique digits, and after that we will write the condition for taking the number which is greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to 25,000. So, here we have to write input 1 is greater than or equal to 1 and input 1 is less than or equal to 25,000. Our number should be in the range 1 to 25,000, and after that we will take the array of size 10. So, that we have to write int arr equal to new int of size 10, and we will take while loop, and we will write the condition while input 1 is not equal to 0, then we will perform the operation reminder equal to rem equal to input 1 modulus 10. So, we have to write input 1 modulus 10, and after that we will take the condition if arr of reminder equal to 0, then we will perform the operation which is arr of reminder equal to 1, and after that we will increment the count, and outside if block we will write the operation input 1 equal to input 1 divided by 10, and outside while loop we will return count, and after that outside if block we will return 0. Now, we will write the main function here, so that we have to write public static void main, and here we will pass the string args, and after that we will declare some variables. So, that let us take num for number, and we will store the value of calling function in the variable result. Now, we will create the object of a scanner class, so that we have to write a scanner sc equal to new scanner, and here we will pass the system dot in, which will represent the keyboard, and after that we will take the input from user, so that we have to write the message to the user to take the input, so that we will write system dot out dot println, and here we will write the message, enter the number, and after that we will read that number from keyboard and we will store that into the num variable. So we have to write num equal to sc dot next int, and after that it's time to call the function, and we will store the value into the result variable, so that here our function name is unique digits count. So here we have to write same as unique digits count, and now we will pass the actual argument that is stored in the num variable. So here we have to write num, and now we will print the value. So let's write system dot out dot println, and here we will pass the variable result, and now by pressing Ctrl S we will save the program, and after that we will run the program. And before run this, let's go into the drive where we have saved our program, and in my case I have saved my program in the drive E in the folder Java programming. So let's go into the Java programming folder, and now to run this we have to write the following command javac with file name, that is user main code 3.java, and let's press enter, and now we will write java user main code 3. Here one message has came out, enter the number. So let's take the number which has given in the question. So let's take 292, and here we can see that there are two unique digits, that is 2 and 9. So our program should return 2. So let's check, and here we can see that it returns 2, and let's run the program for another input. So this time we will take the another input which has given in the question. So let's take 1015, and here we can see that there are three unique digits in this number, that is 1, 0 and 5. So our program should return 3. So let's check, and here we can see that it returns 3. So it's correct. So now we will see how it works. Initially we have defined the function named as unique digits count with one formal argument as an input, that is input 1. So let's pass the value of actual argument which is stored in the num variable, and so let's take input 1 equal to 1015 which is given in the question, and here we know that there are three unique digits in this number, that is 1, 0 and 5. So our program should return 3. So let's check, and after that we have initialized the rem and count variable to 0. So let's take rem, and initially the rem is for reminder, and initially the reminder value is 0, and the another is count, and initially count value is also 0, and after that we have written the condition for taking the inputs which should be in the range 1 to 25,000. So let's check, here we can see that our input 1 is 1015 which is greater than 1 and less than 25,000. So this condition is true. So we will enter into this, and after that we have taken the array of size 10. So let's write here array of, let's create the box for the 10 elements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So let's give the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and here elements in the array allocated by this new will automatically be initialized to 0 for numeric type. So let's put all the elements to 0, and after that we have taken the while loop, and we will check the condition while input 1 is not equal to 0, and here we can see that our input 1 is 1015 which is not equal to 0. So we will enter into the loop, and we will perform this operation rem equal to input 1 modulus 10. So our input 1 is 1015, and modulus 10 it will return 5, and we will store that 5 into the rem variable. So now rem value becomes 5, and after that we will check the condition if ARR of REM equal to 0, and here we can see that ARR of remainder means REM is 5. So ARR of 5 equal to 0, and here we can see that ARR of 5 is 0. So this condition is true. So we will perform this operation. ARR of remainder equal to 1 means ARR of 5 equal to 1. So now it becomes 1, and we will increment the count. So now count becomes 1, and after that we will perform this operation. Input 1 equal to input 1 divided by 10. So here 1015 divided by 10, now it becomes 101, and after that we will again check the condition here while input 1 is not equal to 0, and here we can see that our input 1 is 101, which is not equal to 0. So the condition is true. So we will again enter into the loop and perform this operation, and this time input 1 modulus 10. So 101 modulus 10, it will give 1, and we will store that 1 into the REM variable. So now REM becomes 1, and now we will check the condition if ARR of remainder equal to 0, and here we can see that ARR of REM means ARR of 1 is equal to 0 or not, and here we can see that ARR of 1 is equal to 0. So this condition is true. So we will enter into this statement, and we will perform this operation. ARR of REM equal to 1. So ARR of 1 becomes now 1. So here it will be updated to 1, and now we will increment the count. So this time count becomes 2, and now we will perform this operation again. Input 1 equal to input 1 divided by 10. So here 101 divided by 10, now input 1 will be updated to 10, and again we will come here and we will check the condition while input 1 is not equal to 0, and here we can see that our input 1 is 10, which is not equal to 0. So the condition is true. So we will again enter into the loop and perform the operation. REM equal to input 1 modulus 10. So here our input 1 is not 10. So 10 modulus 10, it will give 0. So we will store that 0 into the REM variable. So here REM becomes now 0, and after that we will check the condition if ARR of REM equal to 0, and here we can see that ARR of 0 means ARR of 0 is equal to 0. So the condition is true. So we will perform this operation. ARR of remainder equal to 1. So here ARR of 0 becomes now 1. So here ARR of 0 now becomes 1, and after that we will increment the count. So now here our count value becomes 3, and again we will perform this operation. Input 1 equal to input 1 divided by 10. So here input 1 is 10, and 10 divided by 10, now it will give 0, and now we will again check the condition while input 1 is not equal to 0, and here we can see that our input 1 is 0. So this condition will false, and we will come out of the loop, and we will return the count, and here we can see that our count value is 3. So our program will return 3, and we know that in 1015 there are 3 unique digits, that is 1, 0 and 5. So it is correct. So please do like and share this video and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thanks for watching.